up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Celtic Warrior Damon?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show. So welcome to episode 1, everybody. Thank you for making us your drinking buddies today. I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WTR the show. With me today, we got Beard Sports Beard. What's going on, man?
The Sports Beard is here. Thank you for having me, as always, Ref Marsh. I appreciate it. I'm so excited for Smackdown before WrestleMania weekend. We're going to have a whole streaming weekend where we watch it together, right?
It's gonna be cool. So what we're gonna do, the way I want to do it, we're just gonna probably tweet about it and let people know. But we're gonna just kind of have it less of the windows like I have now, and just kind of do the open Zoom. And I'm gonna send the link out to literally anyone who's ever been on our show or who's ever had me on their show, and just send the link out to everybody. And say, hey, if you want to pop in for as little or as much as you want, we're just going to be there. So we'll see who shows up, who doesn't. And then at the very least, it'll be you and me. So,
well,
all bad.
For two things. One, hello, Grim Reaper. Thank you for being here. Two.
Cheers. And Grim Reaper will be here next week. He's going to be here to help us break down WrestleMania on our show next week. So cheers.
Woohoo! Oh, I look forward to meeting Grim Reaper. That is going to be cool. And I hope we get everybody that's ever been on the show. That sounds awesome. I'm super excited. I already told the wife, my weekend is taken. So,
yeah.
She had her birthday last weekend. So,
Yeah, she had her time. It's time to move on.
Yeah, we watched the fucking Oscars live.
Yeah.
So, that's what she wanted to do.
Yeah. Well,
I bought her some flowers. It's 37. No one gives a shit. It's like the most vanilla fucking birthday. It's like 26. Who cares?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, 25. Bully for you. You can rent a car without, a bunch of shit.
Yeah. At least there's something to it. But yeah, there's a bunch of them where you just kind of go like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. Having a birthday.
That's cool, man. I'm really excited. Is a producer lady going to be on the show?
She'll probably be screaming at us through the mic. Different stuff.
I think you should make her. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
We've talked about getting like a little animation to pop up on screen when she's talking, because she doesn't want to be on screen necessarily. We'll see. I understand if that ever comes to fruition.
Here's what I want her to do. I get she doesn't want to be on screen, and I respect that. She shouldn't worry about it. I don't understand that, but producer lady, not trying to change your life. Make her wear a Rey Mysterio mask. I think that would be so fucking cool.
She has in the past. She did for one of the Royal Rumbles. She's got like a Thunder Rosa style Sugar Skull mask that covers half her head, and she did one year where she just dressed up like Mick Foley. I have a Mankind mask. She put that on and put her hair through it and everything, and put on the shirt and tie. We've gotten ways around it before.
That's so fucking cool. That's so cool. I love it too.
Best.
She should be on.
That's what I said. And now I have 2 more masks since she's even been on last. I have the Undertaker Survivor Series mask, that creepy one, and I have an Ultimate Warrior plastic mask that looks like it's face paint. So dude, you have options,
Look at how ugly I am, and I love being on screen. So I'm just saying, she's fine. She'll do great.
Yeah. I do imagine if you were able to make it work, I feel like that when I start the show, I'm pretty monotone, and you come in with high energy. It feels like having the Ultimate Warrior run on screen, just slapping hands on the way to the thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What's in your glass, man? What are you drinking today?
Okay, so this is a special thing I just discovered. It's called Oceanic Vodka. I brought the bottle because it's so fucking cool. It's from Hawaii. Woo woo. And it is an organic vodka. It's ocean vodka. I'm sorry, ocean. It's called Ocean, and it's an organic vodka. I said oceanic, but it's ocean.
Now the bottle's blue, not the liquid, right?
The bottle is blue, and the liquid is vodka, so it's clear.
It's clear. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
So it's just a smart way to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking perfect.
I'm giving them a
looks
plug.
like the ocean.
It's organic vodka, and it's regular 40% 80 proof vodka.
Yeah.
I of course love to have a little grapefruit juice.
Yeah.
This was my drink for years, and I call it a Greyhound. It's just vodka and grapefruit juice. So.
Is it pretty smooth, the vodka?
Oh, it's really good. By the way, this is the first time I've had a drop of it on the show. I wanted to debut it on the show, and I like it.
All right, sponsored, not sponsored. I'm into it. I'm definitely something I'm gonna look for. That bottle.
Well, I'm gonna
amazing.
Not drink any more of it, and so there'll be some when you come to Alaska.
Good call. We are going to be live from the Sports Beard Dungeon.
No, we call it the Maxwell Lake House.
The Maxwell Lake House.
It's the Maxwell Lake House.
We're gonna be live from there. Beginning of June. Very end of May, beginning of.
End of May, yeah.
End of May, beginning of June. So I think by the time that Wednesday hits, I think it'll be beginning of June. We'll be doing a live one from the Maxwell Lake House in Alaska. Micah coming through the chat. Just be wary, guys. I'm going to be sending you all the link. Just so you know, Micah, during WrestleMania, a link's coming your way for you to pop in or not for as much or as little as you want on the WrestleMania.
Also, thank you for joining us, Micah.
Dude, I just realized. What are the odds? You got a Hawaiian vodka. My koozie for my Miller Lite is a Hawaii koozie.
I mean, that's cool. And we didn't plan that. So that's
not at all.
I mean, that's even better.
Yeah, I was already drinking it before you held that up. So you would have noticed if someone went back and pieced it together.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. I made the drink. Yeah.
Well, it's because Producer Lady lived in Hawaii for a number of years when we were first together. And so we have some pretty cool Hawaiian stuff around. I have a bottle of, what brand is it? Trader Vic's macadamia liqueur that we still haven't opened because it's from Hawaii. It's Kona macadamia nuts. It's one of those things where it's like we don't know if we'll ever see it again. So
well, I have an idea. How about the four of us take a trip to Hawaii one of these years and we do a show from there? That would be effing cool. We'll go to the Big Island or something.
Yeah, and she knows her. She's got a bunch of friends out there. We could get some people. When I was out there, her friends are locals. They've lived in Hawaii their whole lives, so it was really one of those things where I was like, okay, I want to see some touristy stuff. I want to see some local specialty spots. So I got a good mix. It was really cool.
Micah says night one he is driving to Derrick to watch. So night two maybe. He said which night two looks like the better night, but I don't know.
What would he know? What would he know?
Well, we don't know. We'll wait and see. We just have to wait and see.
I mean, you have to watch it.
I'm excited to watch it. I'm so excited. I don't remember the last time I watched a WrestleMania. I missed last year, obviously, because I didn't come back till SummerSlam. Really?
Yep.
I'm super excited to see what happens.
I'm really excited about this year's card.
Yeah, this is going to be a great. And your guy Sam Roberts said on Pat McAfee's show, even if you don't like wrestling, he says he's never had anybody, a non-wrestling fan or anything, watch WrestleMania and be like, that wasn't just fun and entertaining.
Yeah, so it's just fun.
It's going to be great. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, they definitely go out of their way to make sure that it's more fun than the average Raw or Smackdown or any other wrestling show. They make sure it's a spectacle. Like, that's kind of what makes it special, is that it is a spectacle of fun. Like, even if some of the matches aren't great, the whole thing around the matches are super fun. Like, it works. It's a good. I like it. I get excited.
I expect the matches to be great too. I think it's going to be awesome.
Me too. We got some awesome cards. I am in my glass. I'm having a Miller Lite, but I am after WrestleMania. I'm gonna not drink for the rest of April. I'm gonna kind of detox a little bit, just a month, no alcohol or soda, and then get back to it. So I'm having some light stuff on the way.
Got you, buddy. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it'll be good. But it's not about what you're drinking, it's who you're drinking with, and I'm glad you all are drinking with us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us on Wrestling on the Rocks, whether it's water or ocean vodka.
Oh yeah, no difference. Let's see. Well, let's start with a couple of simple things real quick. Probably the biggest thing news-wise that happened was the news about Triple H. Went on Stephen A. Smith's, right?
Yeah, he was on ESPN, Stephen A. Smith show, saying basically he's never going to compete in ring ever again. And I have to say, I'm sad, but also like it feels like it's good. He got emotional about he now has a defibrillator inside his body, so if he dies of a heart attack, essentially the defibrillator can resuscitate him, right? Crazy said he'd never had any problems before. He said he had always had like a bigger heart, but an athletic heart, and he said he had been tested a bunch of times, and so it just must have caught up to him. So it's gonna be interesting. So Miss Fabtina's in the chat. She says Roman being on a big 3D graphic. Micah says any non-WWE Mania weekend shows or matches you're looking forward to. We'll get to that, Micah. We're talking about Triple H real quick. Miss Fabtina, WrestleMania playing at Dave & Buster's and theaters. We talked about that last week, but we did not talk about Dave & Buster's. That's interesting. We have a Dave & Buster's here. I love Dave & Buster's. Yeah. Love them. So much fun. I love going there. But we'll be doing the show live from our homes and watching with the fans. So
but yeah, to be back on topic with Triple H, the idea of the defibrillator too. I've even read that some people can't even work out if they're on it, because like if your heart rhythm changes or shifts or goes too high too fast, it'll shock too. So
he might be doing a lot of walking and stair stepping. I'm assuming his life has changed quite a bit. So
I wonder, what we don't know yet is if he's gonna maintain much of a position in WWE at all, if he's just gonna basically kick back and relax from now on. Which I think if he decides that, he's more than deserves it and earned it.
It didn't feel like that in the entire the interview. I think wasn't that long, 15 or 17 minutes or something like that. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like he was walking away from the sport, entertainment business. It did feel like. I mean, he was like, I'm never competing again. Like he left, like there was no ambiguity in that statement. He was, I mean, if Stephanie was there, like I think his kids were with him too. Like Stephen A talked about getting in and doing some ring stuff. So there was some interesting stuff to come out of this. What Stephen A referenced, because they did talk about other things outside of Triple H, not wrestling. He talked about how he loved Bobby the Brain Heenan, Paul Heyman. They talked about the brilliance of Paul Heyman, about how he's just like the guy you want to just punch in the face, is Triple H's words, not mine. It was I love the interview. I'm not a hater of Stephen A or anything. He could be polarizing, but it was a great interview. It humanizes this sport. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people who think it's not real, and it's real. It's real people. It's not fake people. It's real athleticism. So, I think he's going to still do scouting and development and stuff like that. He said he's still going to be involved quite a bit. So I don't think he's going to take a step back. I don't know that if you are married to Vince McMahon's daughter, he would ever let you step back. Because look at Vince. I mean, he's still going, man. Nothing else lasts the Vince McMahon Energizer Bunny. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I could even see them... even like you said, with Vince doing it forever the way that he has, I could see even being like, hey Vince, I can't do XYZ anymore. Okay, cool, we'll have you do ABC instead. Like we'll find a spot to keep you doing stuff, you know what I mean? Like I could see that too. The only bummer really is that the end of his career kind of came this way, where I think that we were all expecting very close to this being around the time he would retire anyways. We were expecting like one more little story to retire him. And the fact that he won't have that official button on it is a little bit of a bummer. But when I think about it, the stuff he did with Batista and Randy Orton, I feel like works just fine. Like it's not anything to scoff at.
So Ref Marsh, I didn't see that. He did talk about in the interview that he was supposed to do something for WrestleMania this year. Yeah. So he was going to be involved in something, a match, something. He was going to be a part of something at WrestleMania. So it's I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what that would have been. That would have been really interesting to see. They did premiere some stuff on YouTube that were older matches with him and Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey, and Stephanie McMahon. I thought those were cool. to watch. I didn't get to watch all of it because I had other stuff going on. That happened today. But I'm with you, man. Like, it is kind of sad. And I will say this, man, like, you know, I'm a rock and roll fan. Like, I think he has the best intro ever. He's got Lemmy from Motorhead. Like, I don't know if you remember the fucking movie Airheads where he goes, it's a trick question. Lemmy or God? It's a trick question. Lemmy is God. Like, you know, like Lemmy was the lead singer of Motorhead. Rest in peace, Lemmy. He's passed away since too.
Yeah.
But I think he has the best like actual song intro. I mean, of course I love Stone Cold. I love, you know, there's a bunch of great intros, but his is fucking awesome. Yeah. You know, even if you don't like Triple H, you know, it's very good. Yeah. You know, so yeah.
They released a couple of his songs done by Lemmy on vinyl. Yeah. Because the songs are just that goddamn good.
Yes, they're fucking
They sold
awesome.
out immediately. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, his career is obviously nothing to scoff at. If he doesn't get to have one little story to send off and put someone over, it's not the worst thing ever. Like, it's a hell of a career, man. And
he has and you know, Stephen A. when he started the interview, he spent all that time going over all his accolades, and you know, he's one of the most accomplished wrestlers of all time. He'll be in the Hall of Fame, you know.
Oh, for sure. Like, he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame like 6 times. They'll just find another thing to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Well, D-Generation X, right? They're already in the Hall of Fame, are they not?
Yeah, he's already in. Yeah.
So he's there
by himself, obviously.
Yep.
You could put him in with Evolution, probably no problem. They'll probably give him a Warrior Award at some point for charity deeds or something. But speaking of the Warrior Awards, though, they're giving it this year to Chad Gaspard. Did you see that?
I did not.
Which I thought was really cool. I know a lot of people were upset that he didn't get it last year. Last year he passed away shortly before WrestleMania season was getting into gear, and they were announcing all that stuff, and everyone thought it should be him. He passed away. He was in swimming in the ocean, I believe it was, with his kid, and the water started to take them under, and the rescue crews came out, and he like was telling them get his son, and was kind of like helping them get to the kid. And then as they pull the kid up, the water took him away. And obviously,
I think you might have talked about this last episode. Actually, I think you did. I remember. I think you talked about this. I don't know. You talked about him dying, not him getting the award. Sorry, but we had this conversation.
Possibly. But yeah, he obviously died in a super heroic way. So the idea of him getting the Warrior Award, I think, is really cool.
Yes.
The fact that people are trying to make an argument about it because it's called Warrior Award and they want it renamed, I think that, I don't know. I think it's a little, I think it takes away from what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, celebrate what's happening here. You know what I mean? And the idea of calling him a warrior is kind of the concept, right? Like, I understand not wanting to celebrate some of the crazy, horrible shit the guy who played Warrior said, but the essence of the award is named after the warrior, to be the character of a warrior who was always fighting and always believed in more and such. So to be associated with the concept of being a warrior. But I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool he's getting in. Let's see. I was going to pull up something else here.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted to talk a little bit about something else that happened?
Oh, yeah. Hey, just real quick. I mean, I know the Will Smith smack is dominating the headlines, but Taylor Hawkins, a drummer of Foo Fighters, passed away untimely in his sleep. They believe of a heart attack, 50 years old, in phenomenal shape in Colombia on tour with the Foo Fighters. I am a huge Foo Fighters fan. I love Dave Grohl, love that band, love Pat Smear, love everybody in that band. Just an incredible band. One of my all-time favorites. My favorite band of all time is Queen. They always lay homage to Queen. They actually sing a Queen song. Taylor was the guy who would sing it, and you can see it. There's a lot of outpouring of emotion, but I did want to say rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins, and best to his family. And, just an awful, awful thing, gone way too soon.
Yeah, that was surprising when I saw that too. When I saw his name come up, I was like, "How old was he?" You know what I mean? Because like it seemed like out of place and weird. And then when I looked it up, it really felt
about 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
So given some of the stuff I've dealt with this week, it's kind of hit close to home, and it's been tough, man. Like I really, it's you know, I already don't do well, right, with life, so it was a tough day for me, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, tears in our beers for sure. Let's see. Do you think Will Smith and Chris Rock are going to have a WrestleMania match?
No.
Well, a lot of people seem to think so.
Well, I'll just say this: I'm not ever gonna come out on the side of Will Smith on this one. You don't fucking slap a comedian at an award show for giving you shit. You're worth over $200 million. Get the fuck out of here, Will Smith.
And he's twice his size. Like that was the
dude. What did you? For sure. Well, yeah. Chris Rock's brother said Will Smith hits like a bitch. So that's fine. I think anybody would maybe say it didn't look like it bothered Chris Rock that much. He handled it like a pro.
He was so
respect
pro.
To Chris Rock.
Yeah, I had so much respect for Chris Rock there because, for one, his hands were down. He was like, if you're going to do it, do it.
He leaned in because he thought Will Smith was going to say something to him. I think he thought Will Smith was going to joke with him.
Oh,
because the joke was so benign.
Yeah.
Oh, he did not know that his wife had alopecia. By the way, his wife, and we don't need to get into this. I think we could go down this rabbit hole. Like, they don't have a conventional marriage. A lot of people want to say blah blah blah. I don't care about any of that stuff. You don't slap another man on stage. Take him to the back, talk to him like a man. I didn't appreciate it. I think it was a joke. And I told my wife, we watched the whole Oscars live. I said, watch him win. And my wife said, if he doesn't apologize, I'll never watch another Will Smith thing. I'm with her. Will Smith, sorry, brother. You know, loved you in Fresh Prince, loved you in, Independence Day, but, you lost me, man. Don't quote God. Everybody knows you're a fucking Scientologist. Get the fuck out of here.
That's true, too.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah. It was really weird. You know, the thing that I thought was most weird to bring it to a wrestling standpoint, the amount of people who were sitting there saying, and still saying, that they're convinced that this was a, quote, work, that it was a staged thing. And all I could think about the whole thing was at what end? At what end game? Like, where's the payoff, right? If it was staged, no one came out really looking great, and it really put a damper feeling on the whole award show kind of a deal.
Well, let me tell you this. It took away from the first deaf male actor winning an Oscar. It took away from Questlove from The Roots, one of the greatest hip-hop bands of all time, winning an Academy Award for resurrecting a film festival that happened in the 60s that no one talks about, that was all like African-American bands. To me, if I was an African-American, I would be really pissed off at Will Smith. He took away from a lot of stuff. Oh, by the way, the producer of said Academy Awards was African-American. It was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
And that's what I mean. Like, if it was staged, it didn't pay off very well. You know what I mean? It did a bad thing. So that's why I think the conversation of is it real or fake is so weird to me, because I'm like, if it's fake, it's probably for something, right? And no one's going to tune into Oscars next year thinking, oh, I want to see the fight this year. Like, it doesn't help with their ratings. No one's tuning in after the fact because they already saw the clip. You know what I mean? Like, it was just really weird that people, especially even wrestling fans, are so adamant about being right and never being fooled, and you can't get one over on me, that they'll turn literally anything into, you're not gonna outsmart me, and you're like, or you look kind of foolish hanging on to something that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
We live in an age where we have all the information at our fingertips, and yet we believe in all this bullshit conspiracy stuff. I fucking do not get it whatsoever.
Yeah, it's
like,
weird.
Come on. Is your life that fucking boring? Get away from your phone and your keyboard and your Facebook for a while. Then, but
I did get a kick out of a lot of the memes that came out of it, and the people saying, "Oh, there's gonna be a fight at Mania." That shit was funny. I got a kick out of that. But
I saw the 49ers getting smacked by the Rams. I saw all kinds of memes. Yeah.
My favorite one, I think, was it put over Chris Rock. It said the moon, and then it had the slap said my eyes or your eyes, and then something about the pizza pie. It was the amore thing. When the moon hits your eyes.
When the moon hits eyes, that's amore.
Yeah, it was. Really
it's funny. A big pizza pie. That's amore. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. It was.
Give me 1 second.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up some next stuff. Well, as we talk about WrestleMania coming up, and something I thought was worth mentioning is, well, for one, WWE just landed a deal with Fanatics. They're going to have, it looks like, a bunch of their merch on the official Fanatics site, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I get stuff from Fanatics from time to time. So many of my friends are sports fans that I stay on the newsletter and mailing list for Fanatics. So if somebody's team comes up with some cool deal, I'll snag it up, you know?
The guy who started that is a genius. And yes, Fanatics, that's cool. The NFTs for WWE are going to be a big deal, I think. And I think that's a smart move by WWE. And I wonder if they don't eventually move their merch to them solely. Because you're seeing a lot of...
I bet you would see a split because they have deals with like Homage and 500 and Roots of Fight. They have official merchandising in specific areas anyhow. I bet you still see that hybrid because I don't think that they would ever move 100% of everything out of their control.
Yeah.
But
hey, real quick.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to acknowledge some of the people in the chat that have shouted. Micah, I'm glad you went to Dave and Buster's. He talked about Triple H doing scouting and development. Thank you for bringing that up, Micah. Cheers to Just in Time. Hope you, Jeremy and Time, join us on Saturday or Sunday or both days.
Yep.
Miss Fabtina also said cheers to Just in Time. And she asked us, what are we excited about for WrestleMania? Well, I know what I'm going to say. Go ahead, Ref Marsh.
Oh, we'll get into there when we get into there. Because that's going to be the base. That's going to be the crux of the whole review of the shows. I will say to answer Micah's question about non-WWE weekend shows or matches. Mission Pro is a big one. I'm excited that they're part of the collective. The other thing I would say that I'm really excited to see, Bloodsport would be one show in its entirety that looks really good. But Janela versus X-Pac is one I'm very anxious to see. But I am a little concerned about it because it came out that Sean X-Pac Waltman tore his bicep when he was at the GCW show just a month or two ago. And I don't know how long that takes to heal up or what that's going to look like on the other side. So we'll see. But I believe the two of them could make something real special happen there. On top of the Fanatics thing, I just want to throw this out here because I like to be petty. But it's expected. They were saying that WrestleMania is going to bring a $200 million economic boost to Dallas-Fort Worth during that weekend.
Yeah, that's good.
It's incredible.
That's awesome.
But I think that these kinds of articles are the things that I think people ignore or don't think about when they try to talk about how WWE is getting the lowest ratings they've ever gotten, or they're going out of business. Those weird conversations we see all the time, or how AEW is doing so much better than WWE and X, Y, and Z. And this is just to say that the health of both companies are fucking fine. Like, if you're a company that brings $200 million a single weekend into a city, you're gonna be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the ratings, I think we could talk ad nauseum about that stuff, but what it really comes down to is they haven't really developed a way to finite ratings. When someone streams a show on their own time, like, dude, I fell asleep through Raw. I had to watch like half of it over again. I watched it on Hulu again on a different day. So it's like, and I didn't get through it all. Sometimes that happens, like, same with Smackdown. I did not watch Smackdown. My wife wanted to do something else Friday night. It was her birthday weekend. Guess what? I watched So does Smackdown get poor ratings because I didn't watch live on Fox, but I watched it anyway at like 2 a.m. Alaska time? So I feel like a lot of that stuff is garbage.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. From what I've been told, AEW isn't even close to WWE in ratings. We can look at it on the internet right now. It's not close. I get what the dirt sheets are writing. Just delete those people from your feed.
Yeah.
Like what I'm saying
is that these are better indications of success, these kind of deals and stuff. What I think is going to be the cool conversation is when AEW starts landing some of these really cool partnerships and deals. Because I think it's going to come. I do think both companies are going to be just fine. They both have longevity. I think that AEW is going to have some really cool contracts with some pretty big partners at some point. And I think those conversations are going to be more exciting than how do they do this one week? You know what I mean?
I'm 100% for you. And look, you guys know I don't watch AEW, not because I don't like it or hate it. And there's wrestlers on there that I would love to see wrestle. I just don't have the time. Okay. And I've decided that I am going to dedicate my life to watching sports, and I am going to watch some wrestling. And the wrestling I've chosen to watch is the stuff I grew up on as a kid in the WWF, WWE now. So I'll just say this: like what you like, enjoy what you like, and love what you like. And don't bitch and complain if you don't like it. Because you know what? In the next week, you're going to get something entirely different. It'll change. Yeah. You know, I will, you know, I'm a positive person. I try to keep good things in my life. So the one thing I'd be critical about the WWE is I don't necessarily need to have the big heel charge, but it's working. And it's been working since NWO, you know? So, you know, so go ahead, Ref Marsh, where do you want to go?
Yeah. And just to wrap up this conversation as we move towards the show, Micah does say in the chat, it's like how AEW got the DraftKings partnership at Revolution, and that's sick. Yeah, they got that partnership. I thought that was awesome. They had DraftKings logos on their ring, and I thought that was super exciting because the last time I think it's a direct result too of the official partnership, long-term partnership that WWE has with DraftKings on all their platforms. I think they're seeing such good results there that they're like, fuck yeah, we'll bring in another wrestling company. And I think it's good for both companies that kind of stuff is happening. And I think it was awesome. And I hope we see more DraftKings stuff with both. And,
you know, Pat McAfee has a $150 million deal with FanDuel.
Yeah. Yeah. At what point does FanDuel go exclusive with WWE too? Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
But maybe FanDuel will take on both companies as well. Who knows? I don't know. It's cool. It's just cool stuff when the companies are doing stuff that lets you see them in more places.
And fantasy, you know, like, so fantasy stuff is legal just about everywhere. The fantasy, where you can do fantasy stuff, it might be like a $10 buy-in, but it's fantasy. It's not considered gambling. So Texas does not have gambling, by the way, but FanDuel and DraftKings are legal there. So if you wanted to pick like AEW Dynamite or the WrestleMania winners or something, you could do such a thing, and maybe you could win money, but it's all, you know, it's all fantasy stuff. Like they have fantasy sports, hockey, football, all that stuff, basketball. Great. And you can win some serious money. I know a guy who's winning like major cash doing DFS daily fantasy stuff. So, that's cool. You know, like there's a lot of money in it. And I'm glad to see that these companies are putting it back into products that make them money, because if you don't have a sport to watch or you don't have wrestling to watch, then there's nothing to fantasy bet or whatever on, you know? So,
as a primarily wrestling fan and not sports fan, I do feel like I miss out on stuff. Like when I hear people doing their fantasy leagues and fantasy that, and I bet on this thing, I go, in my mind, it's kind of like, oh, that's fun. But like, I'm not a part of that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know where to start. The idea that there's wrestling versions of it now is actually kind of exciting to me. And I've messed around with DraftKings a couple of times. It's really neat, the stuff they have you bet on, though, because they don't want you to bet on like winners or losers necessarily most of the time. Usually it's like length of match, or is it going to be a pinfall or submission? Like they have like weird little like caveats. So it's not strictly like something that you could probably guess by storyline alone.
Right. I've not seen any of it. I haven't looked into it. I've never been a huge fan. I played fantasy hockey this year. I've had a lot of fun doing that, but not for money or anything, just with some friends.
It's pretty cool. It's neat. And I'll probably do more of it. I'll probably mess around with it more and more. Let's see.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Finally, right before we get into it, just as a quick shout out, an announcement, sort of, Roman Reigns is going to be on Jimmy Fallon tonight. So if you guys are up late and want to watch a real star on a real television show. I'm just kidding. If you want to watch Roman Reigns on Jimmy Fallon, he's going to be on tonight. I'm excited because I think that Roman does really good in those style interviews and such, and I kind of want to see how he comes off.
I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think he comes on like at 8:00 here in Alaska. So I'll look for it, but it's NBC is Jimmy Fallon. So let me see real quick. Yeah, the Late Show at Jimmy Fallon my bad. He comes on at 10:30. And it's Hassan Minhaj, who is a comedian, Roman Reigns, also known as Joe. I'm going to record it because I want to watch it. Yeah. Because I watched the WWE Evil episode of Roman Reigns. I don't know if you want to go into that.
What'd you think?
Well, as a guy who I did not know that he had been kind of like pushed since like 2017.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize he had been in the limelight that long.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed hearing about his story. I mean, I knew he was like his, with the family stuff. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let the fans of Wrestling on the Rocks and the people watch it if they get a chance, because I don't want to do a ton of spoiling on it. But I'll say this: I have a prediction to make. I think that Roman Reigns will face The Rock at WrestleMania 40, and I think
so.
that will be the culmination of that whole story. I think, is my opinion. And I would not be against it. They need to change some things they're doing, in my opinion, with Roman Reigns and the Usos, because I'd almost rather them just be like dominant war machines like Brock Lesnar could be, than like sneaky. They could still be heels. They could still be whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if I could deal with 2 more years of them being this.
Yeah.
Micah says, I like how it mentioned the fan backlash from Royal Rumble in 2015 and Roman Reigns' real feelings on it. Yeah, you know what I wanted to ask you, Ref Marsh? Because this was tough for me. Something very odd about Roman Reigns. He had like blue eyes.
Yeah.
And he all of a sudden doesn't have blue eyes now? Was he wearing contacts, or is he now wearing contacts? What?
He was wearing contacts. That was part of, I think, one of the reasons why people were having a hard time with him, is there was so much about him that came off so phony.
Yeah.
Like he just suddenly had blue eyes one day, and everyone's like, what the
fuck that was
this?
Fucking weird. I was like, does he have blue eyes, and is he now wearing contacts to cover his blue eyes? Or
no, it's vice versa.
I mean, because honestly, dude, the guy had leukemia. Like there was a lot of things that was like, I'm kind of rooting for this guy.
Yeah.
But like I totally got, there was like a ton of fan backlash on it and stuff like that. So, but honestly, guys, like I now kind of see what you and Kev and everybody talks about that are in pro Roman Reigns. So, I'm not saying I'm coming around and I'm a huge Roman Reigns fan, but I'm not rooting against him as actively as I would. I still would love to see Brock Lesnar win at WrestleMania, just because I love this version of Brock. Also because I had kind of such a negative opinion of Brock. But anyway, where do you want to go now?
But it's brought you some respect towards him, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I would recommend the Evil thing too. Like I watched the Hulk Hogan one, and that was cool. I still think Hulk Hogan probably should get a lot of responsibility for the demise of WCW, but he does not. I think, I think he kind of lives in a fucking la-la land a little bit. He's kind of, I don't know, boxers get punch drunk, they say. I wonder if Hulk Hogan, just like whatever. I mean, look again, Godfather Wrestling, like he was the first guy ever. I mean, he's that guy. I mean, I don't want to take away from what he brought to wrestling, but I mean, the guy, to me, there's some things, in real life too, like that would just rather him be gone. But
no, I got you. Did you end up watching most of Smackdown?
Yeah, I watched all of Smackdown. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I watched all of Smackdown, and I watched all of Raw. I'm just saying, there's some things that are hazy.
Okay, let's see. Actually, I'm looking at like this bullet point listing of what happened on Smackdown, and
loved it.
For a show that I remember just having so much fun watching, when I look at it from a bullet point standpoint, not a lot going on in a weird way, right? So there was all the Brock Lesnar Roman stuff, which was awesome. Brock Lesnar taking over his room, breaking his shit for no reason.
Yes, that was fucking so great. Yes.
I also liked that Brock was eating his grapes, because Brock's keto. He shouldn't be having grapes.
Smashing the table with his cowboy boots was so good. Yeah. And that was like, it was a cheapy table, but still awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was so good. I'm loving all that stuff. I think that both of those guys, Brock and Roman, both are just doing so much on such a high level. And I'm going to talk more about them on Raw. I think there was a lot of stuff that tied into Raw that was awesome. But
if you miss it, they recap of everything too, which is part of the why the show is so long on Raw. But yeah.
Let's see. Shinsuke and Jimmy Uso had the cool thing.
Yeah.
What about the Drew McIntyre? Or, I mean, did you want to talk about Shinsuke and Jimmy Uso?
Well, so here's what I'll say. I would you be against Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura winning the tag team against the Usos, and then Roman trying to get that back for them and making a storyline out of that later? Because I like those guys I think they are such a simpatico thing, and it makes sense to make them a tag team. And for a while, it was just Rick kind of being like the herald for King Nakamura when he was the king of the ring and stuff. But what a great way to keep, I think, fan favorite characters relevant. And, you know, they're really not I mean, the Usos are running around. They're kind of doing too much with the Usos. Like they did on Raw, they did the thing where they were against Thornton and them too. And then it sort of ended. But for me, I think it would be fun to watch that storyline play out a little bit longer. I think the fans like RK Bro so much that RK Bro probably retains the title. But I don't think we need them against the Usos right now, but maybe they go that way. I don't know. We'll see. I enjoy the Rick Boogs Shinsuke stuff. I love them a lot. You know, I know they're Smackdown. They were, you know.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I think that would be a good way to go. I think the only thing that would annoy me about it is just that I'd be getting worked, right? So like the idea that I'm just such a big fan of the Usos that if Shinsuke and Boogs beat the Usos, I'd be like, come on, because I consider the Usos one of the greatest tag teams of all time. That's not to say that's the right decision, but that's just how I feel at the time.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, Ref Marsh. Do you think that Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura are shitty wrestlers? Because they're really good wrestlers. So why couldn't they beat the Usos?
Because I don't think
they're just as good, if not better. Rick Boogs is Rick Boogs could be in like title contention for like the Universal title. He's that convincing to me. I wish he didn't cut his hair, but like for me, like as far as when it comes to a like in-ring squared circle thing, those guys are really fucking good. And I like the Usos, but they don't do anything better than anybody else, in my opinion. They're good, but they don't do, like, what are they great at?
So what I was saying, the Usos are great at, I mean, to put it simply, tag team wrestling. There's a lot of tag team psychology that's different than a singles match, right? They're in sync in a lot of ways that just comes from years and years of working together. I think that Boogs and Shinsuke wrestle like two singles guys who are working a tag team, and they do a lot of stuff on their own individually. Rick is still doing stuff that I think that is a little more silly than it needs to be in the ring, but it's working for him. It's not a big deal. Like these aren't criticisms in a bad way.
No, I got you.
Right? Which is why I'm saying that, like, which is why I'm saying, like, in my mind, I'd be like, I don't want to see these two guys beat the Usos because I think the Usos are so good. But realistically, it's not a bad decision to make, and they would be a convincing tag team. And it would be a good story to see what happens with them after the fact. I'm just that big of an Usos fan that I'd be getting worked being like, no, they're my faves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got you. You make so much sense there. And I kind of forgot, like the Bushwhackers were a great tag team. You're not going to see Bubba Ray and Devon separate, right? The Acolytes, great tag team. And I'm not saying those two guys weren't great wrestlers on their own, but they were awesome as the Acolytes, right?
Yeah.
They're just certain things that are so good. And I know that Jay and Jimmy have been doing it forever.
Yeah,
they've been doing it since they came up together as brothers. Obviously, they're brothers.
Yeah,
right. And Roman's their cousin. But
sometimes I think the Usos are almost too smooth. But they
right.
But it also works with them because they've been doing it so long, and they are twins that when they do stuff that's so damn smooth, it's easy to buy into.
Yeah, no, I got you. That makes a lot of sense. And I actually am really glad to hear you say that. I'm just saying, like, I could see, like, as far as in-ring performers, I feel like Shinsuke and Boogs could do a really good job. And I know they haven't worked together for years, but like they do the Toyota commercial. It just feels like those guys have a really awesome cohesion together, and they're yin and yang. It's a little bit like Rock and Sock. You know, I just use that analogy because Mankind and Dwayne The Rock Johnson were such different characters.
Yeah.
But in reality, Mick Foley and Dwayne Johnson are both great salesmen, right? So, I love what they're doing and what they're selling. But I got you. Usos probably win. So
No, I'm saying that I think that you're probably right. I think that Boogs and Shinsuke probably win, and we get a cool story with them as tag champions. I'm
Right.
saying that the Uso super fan in me would be like bullshit, but
it
like,
doesn't.
realistic. It's
But
not
does it
bullshit.
really? It won't tarnish their legacy.
No,
Because that's what I'm
not
saying.
at all.
That's what I'm saying, because that's why. Because I think that in the wrestling community, Boogs and Shinsuke are thought so highly of now, especially Shinsuke, right? So I just feel like again, I'm a junior chipmunk, whatever the fucking thing is, the new kid on the block again. I stepped away. I'm not your guy, Sam Roberts, who never left wrestling, who's always been with wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, even yourself, you stepped away. So I just have to say, like, I would love to see Boogs and Shinsuke. I need to have some happiness.
Yeah.
You know, I need to have some joy. And those guys spread that. And in ring, they're fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I love watching what they do. So, I'm not a slight on the Usos. Again, I'm so glad I watched the Evil episode, because I think I've just developed a whole more appreciation for the bloodline. Again, I'm a late comer to that. I don't have to say I'm a big fan of them, but like, I am with you. You know, what you're saying makes total sense.
I know, but what I'm saying is that when you ask me like what would be wrong with it, the super fan in me goes, because the Usos are the best. And then so I know it'd be like, which is part of the reason why I know that it's probably the right decision to actually do the Boogs and Shinsuke thing, because I think you're right that their star power is still not even hardly tapped into. It's so funny to me when I'm like, as much as I think that Rick Boogs personally is kind of annoying, I can super appreciate what he's doing there, and I love the fact that the crowd is so fucking on board. Where he started to pause it. It's so funny, dude. I can't help but laugh. And when, like, the way that he, like, will pause and you hear the whole crowd go, like, because he'll be like, Shinsuke! And then he'll pause where he's supposed to say Nakamura and go all high. He'll pause it, and you hear the crowd, Nakamura!
Yeah, it's great, man. And, like, I mean, it's shades of, like, people yelling what? Like, we can get into that. I don't want to, let's end the discussion on those guys.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more to talk about. Go ahead.
But I will say, prediction-wise, WrestleMania, night one, Usos versus Boogs and Nakamura, I think that as much as the fanboy in me never wants the Usos to lose a match in their whole career, I think you're right. They won't lose anything by losing. It could be a great story. We could have a really nice feel-good moment, some cool shit on the other side. I think Boogs and Shinsuke is the right move.
Well, and they're all on SmackDown. So, like, that, you know, just carry that on for the fucking fans that get to watch SmackDown, and we'll all love it. And Pat will fucking dance on the table, you know?
And one of the things about the Usos that I love is that I think that their matches are so good so often that I've seen a ton of times where they're not champions, and they're also still putting on great matches and making other tag teams look awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're always so good and primed that anytime they win the championship, you never go, well, how could that happen? You go, oh, looks like the Usos did it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're right on that one. I think that's how you go. Grim Reaper had a thought on that. You want to hit that real quick?
Yeah. Grim Reaper says, I thought when Boogs cut his hair, he was going to turn heel on Shinsuke. Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen that so many times. And then Grim Reaper likes Otis with the Alpha Academy. Yeah, dude, Grim Reaper, 100%. Alpha Academy's awesome. And I could see Alpha Academy winning the tag team titles with RK Bro.
Yeah,
would not have a problem with that at all. We'll say this. I think that, you know, Vince brought this up in the interview with Pat McAfee, and they talked about it a little bit on the WWE Evil. Sometimes, and I know they didn't want to say the person's name, but sometimes a character comes along and he just forces his way. And I want to say it's Daniel Bryan, but I wasn't there for it. But it sounds like it was Daniel Bryan because I wasn't there for it. I don't know who it was, but I know they were pushing Roman, and like the fans are like, no, fuck you. We like this bearded fuck, which, hey, I can get behind. So
what it was is people were chanting for Daniel Bryan, and when Roman, like when Daniel Bryan didn't come out, you heard, I think Rey Mysterio was the number 30, and Rey Mysterio got booed. because he wasn't Daniel Bryan.
Everybody loves fucking Rey Mysterio. Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Who's gonna
huge
boo Rey?
miscalculation on their part too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
seriously,
absolutely.
because ultimately, and I love how they word it. And I never thought about this, but Michael Cole was saying this a lot, and I'm like, oh, he this is dumb of me to never like dawn on me. I apologize to everybody, but when he uses the term WWE Universe, he's talking about the fans.
Yes.
So, like the fans, ultimately, you have to give the fans what they want, because if you don't give them that, they're going to leave. So you have to, bait them, piss them off, bait them, and then you give them the culmination, right, at these events. That's what I wonder, like, because I'll be honest with you, like the lesser thing, I think this Brock, like shit-kicking fucking cowboy from Saskatchewan, like is going way better than they think they thought.
Yeah, I think so too.
So yeah, go ahead. But yeah, I would not have a problem with the only thing I wonder about Grim Reaper with the Alpha Academy is, and they're great and I love them, and I'm actually really would love to see them do more and be the champions for a while. RK Bro is next fucking level. Like I love this tag team. It is so good. And, Ref Marsh talked about you have single wrestlers wrestling. They are awesome. And I know a lot of it is Riddle gets his shit kicked in and then Randy Orton comes in, but they've kind of shied away from that for a while. Mm-hmm. And Riddle's actually won some of the matches and done some things. And I think the more they let Riddle prove that he's a capable wrestler, which we all know, I just think that tag team is even better, because honestly, Randy Orton could be in the Universal Champion picture. I mean, like, there's nobody would say he couldn't be, right? Yeah. But it's been done, and he's been there a lot. So they're doing something else. And the thing I see, and Ref Marsh, we've talked about this before, Randy Orton looks like he's loving doing this. Like, I think sometimes you go to work, and yes, you enjoy your job, but like it just feels like his joy and exuberation for doing what he does, which I think he loves being a wrestler and he's incredible at doing it. It feels like this is maybe his favorite of all time, this thing. And it's just cool. And he doesn't care that he's not in this or that, and I'm loving it, and so I would be okay with seeing RK Bro for another year or two, like as a dominant tag team champion on the Raw brand. Or maybe bring him to SmackDown and maybe move the Usos, and you could change stuff around or whatever. I don't know. Maybe we get the storyline where Triple H comes back and breaks up the bloodline and stuff. That would also be good. But anyway, I don't want to go ahead, Ref Marsh. Where do you want to go from there?
Let's see. On SmackDown with Drew McIntyre and Corbin. That's also going to be on day one.
That's going to be good. I'm enjoying it.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, Corbin's awesome. Another guy that could be in contention for the Universal title, Drew McIntyre. I think it's good. I mean, they've been there, done that with his character. I don't know that we needed to see him steal the sword, because that's happened a bunch of times, right? But just another thing to throw on. I think Corbin's awesome.
Yeah, I think Corbin's great. What do you think about the Madcap? His jokes not landing. My suspicion is that just means that after Mania we're going to have a Madcap versus Corbin storyline, which is going to help Madcap break into his own, and I think that's actually going to see Madcap really go on to do big cool shit.
Madcap is one, like a physical specimen. Looks like, I mean, dude, like he got a bump in the ring that not many would have recovered from, and it seemed like he was okay. Like, I'm glad to hear it. Once again we've seen some wrestlers get injured. I'm for it. And that would be fun too. Let's see Madcap and Corbin go at each other. So yeah, and then it's good.
Yeah, I'm liking that stuff. Excited. I think Drew and Corbin. Now here's the unfortunate bit, if I'm being honest. I think Drew and Corbin we've seen a bunch of times. I think it's easily the least exciting Drew McIntyre match that we could possibly have.
I haven't seen it at all, though. You said you've seen it a bunch. It's happened a bunch.
You've been watching it every week.
No, oh, you're saying no. I know that. I thought you were saying like in the past, like years back, they've wrestled. I'm sorry. I'm trying to clarify what you're saying.
Okay,
you're just saying
both. They've done both.
Okay.
So before previous versions of Corbin have had issues with the previous version of I think King Corbin had a problem with Drew. I think Constable Corbin had a problem with Drew. I think Drew, when he was a Terminator with Dolph Ziggler, had an issue with Corbin.
Can I ask you though? Can I ask you this though? Do you think a lot of it has to do with like size and in-ring ability? Because both those guys are so significantly big, like it almost doesn't make sense. Like they need to go up against guys like Omos or something. Because it's like I wonder if they're just like size matching a little bit there, and that's part of the problem.
It could be. I think they also work really well together. Like, I'm not trying to shit on the concept. I think they do great together.
Right.
I think that it's just, for a WrestleMania match, it almost feels like it would have been cooler to see some version of Madcap and Drew that we haven't seen much or something. And again, I think Drew and Baron are, in my opinion, I think they're 1A, 1B. Who's going to take the title off of Roman? I think it's going to be one of those two dudes. I think that's where we're going.
Wow. Cool.
That's my thought. And so for me to see them in a match right here where it feels like the most static match on the card is a little bit of a weird kind of setting to go into it. But I don't think these guys are failing at what they're doing. I think they're doing a great job at what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that they're going to put on a banger match. I just don't think anyone's going to talk about it on the other side. And that's a bit of a bummer. But I think that what's going to happen is on the other side of this Mania, I think Corbin, McIntyre, and Madcap are going to see huge explosions in their direction. I think they're all booked for something crazy at next year's Mania, and we're going to see that get us there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got you. But I think the WWE are starting, we're starting to bitch about a lot of stuff, but I think they're playing the long game to WrestleMania 40, which we're 2 years away from. And I think that, Vince is still going to be alive. There's, it's an amazing. So I'm with you. I wouldn't be against any of that. I think all I want to see is good storylines and good matches. And if you can get the two together, it's awesome.
Yes.
Maybe, Ref Marsh, I was going to say, you've been overtly critical about Drew McIntyre and Angela the Sword and like just getting rid of it. And I said, well, it's kind of become a prop, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan with the thing, but you're like, no, it's this and that. It's kind of a weapon and stuff, but we all know it's probably not really a weapon. But I'll just say, like, I wonder if they're going to get rid of the Angela with this storyline, and then maybe Drew can just focus on being a wrestler and doesn't have to need a prop or something,
Yeah, I would like that. I'm hoping we get to a point where the sword breaks or get run over or some weird shit. And
Melts.
Just let that be that.
Melts.
Yeah, dude, think about it too. What if it broke into a bunch of pieces, and then in story he melts it down and makes it into some big fucking necklace like Sheamus had, and then he wears that. Fuck.
Could also be the shards of Narsia, like in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. 100%. I'd be fine with that. But yeah, let's see on the. Because I'm basically at this point, we're just gonna kind of go through the.
Go ahead, brother. Whatever you want to talk about.
Let's see. That's from Raw. So, let me look at day 2 real quick. Well, let's talk about the women then.
You want to talk about Raw a little bit?
No. We're going to get there, but I'm going through like the SmackDown stories because I am saving, I think, Brock and Roman.
Well, while you're looking for the SmackDown stories, our good friend Justin Time Wrestling says, I honestly would have no issue if Corbin had just destroyed the sword. But we don't know what's going to happen. And we got a new person in, you may know. Six Crow says, Marsh, you still thinking Seth, Gabe, or Shane moved into that spot?
We can talk about that real quick. Seth Rollins and the TBA. I think it's going to be Gable Steveson. I'm confident.
Dude, you called that forever ago. I have to give you that. It has to be. I love Vince sat him down. I honestly think they underplayed that. They should have fucking made that like a big part of the show. Because one, who doesn't love Seth? He's great. Let's fucking get him an opponent because he lost his fucking shit on he took over SmackDown, right? Or I'm sorry, Raw. I'm sorry, Raw.
Let me pause you there. Vince's delivery on that. I'm just as surprised as you. You've had a lot of failures. I thought you would win your way in. Like, telling Seth that he's been failing left and right, and Seth had to look like...
How can people say Vince isn't on his A game still? That was fucking great.
Amazing. Dude,
yeah.
And in the beginning, too, Seth walks in and Vince is looking down, and then you see Vince, like, sort of side-eye over and go back to what he's doing. Like, 3 or 4 times, Vince side-eyes on him and goes back like, like he doesn't want to do this, but he's going to have to talk to this fucking clown. It was so fucking funny.
But, dude, like, do you think that the fans don't view Seth Rollins as a fucking clown, you know?
No, but that
it's
character
Seth
is a clown.
freaking Rollins. What?
But the character of Seth Rollins right now is a clown. The fucking big goofy suits going around.
They're doing him a little bit
dancing.
of a disservice? You think they're doing him a bit of a disservice, or do you
Not
think
at
this
all.
is just good?
I think it's just great to see this level of what he's capable of, if I'm being
Which is
honest.
everything. That's why it was so surprising to hear you say, I don't know, man. Like, am I not done with Seth Rollins being like in the title picture? I would like to see.
Yes.
Like, I actually loved when he came out with the Shield uniform a few weeks back and stuff. Like, I was like, oh, are they going to go down this road? Because Seth was the brains, and you know, the brawn was always Roman. And again, I've had to kind of learn about a lot of this stuff kind of retroactively. It's sort of a weird way to be a fan, but like you jump back in. Oh, I'm in. Yeah. But I gotta learn backstory, right? I'm watching prequel stuff which actually happened, but it's not prequel for you guys that never left.
If it wasn't for the fact that they're unifying the titles, it would be really easy for me to say that Seth was going to win the world title on the other side of this. But since they're unifying the titles, it's a little more difficult.
Hey, that's what I wanted to ask you real quick. I'm so glad you brought that up. Are they going to make like a Uber championship and still have a Universal and WWE champion? No. Are they going to have like something above the Universal, like an ultimate champion? Like, what's the fucking word Pat's always using? And they used it for are they going to have stupendous?
A stupendous title?
Stupendous. It's a stupendous champion. No, I mean, just like, what's bigger than I guess Universal? It's so tough to top the word universe, right? What's bigger than the universe? The infinite champion, or, you know, I don't know. It's like it's infinity. I'm infinite. You know, I don't know. I like it.
Yeah. I think so we've seen it once before. When WCW was bought, they brought in the World Heavyweight Championship and they had the WWE Championship. And at a certain point, they unified those titles and called it the Undisputed Championship. At one point, the Undisputed Championship went back to being the WWE World Championship. And then at some point, they brought in the incarnation of the Universal. So I think they're going back to that concept of, but it sounds like they're calling it the unified title.
Yeah. Are they going to make it like a thing where it magnets together? And I don't know. Anyway,
it'll be a new design. I think it'll be a new design.
Just in Time says, if you think about double positive, if Gable Stevenson, either Gable gets a win against Seth Rollins in his debut at WrestleMania, or Seth wins and makes Gable, that's true. We've actually talked about that a little bit just in time. And then we got another person that Kiro says
coming through. With just an emoji is what it is. But yeah, I think so too. What Justin is saying, Gable's gonna look amazing coming in. I honestly don't think, and I think that this is my hot take. Cody Rhodes is not ready to be in WrestleMania as an entity.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna see Cody Rhodes at all. I don't think we're gonna see Cody Rhodes at all because of that fucking scumbag guy that thinks he knows everything about the WWE. Keeps saying it's gonna be Cody Rhodes, so we will definitely not see Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is do you know much about Cody Rhodes as even a character?
Nope, but I know about Gold Dust, and I know about Dusty Rhodes, who I love. Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes was awesome.
So I think that what Cody did when he was away from the WWE was really raise his stock to the hardcore wrestling fan base, but I don't think that he's raised his stock to the general public or the general wrestling fan base, if I'm being honest. And I know that you could always argue that Roads to the Top and being on the Big Show and all that shit, or Go Big Show, whatever it was. But I think that realistically, I don't think Cody's in a position where his music hits, it comes out, and the crowd is just so fucking elated to see him. I think he comes out the Monday after and it becomes a big deal. Like, oh shit, Cody's back. What are we going to get? And he's got to build himself to that point, because even in AEW, where he was a fucking EVP, he never main evented any of their pay-per-views. He wasn't a main eventer on their own show.
What if he comes back and is more in like a managerial role? Like, because honestly, like Adam Pearce, whatever. I mean, motherfucker blocked me on Twitter, so fuck that guy. And Sonya Deville, it feels like they could just put her back in competition. She's been wrestling a little bit, so I'd be interested to see what happens there. I don't know how the fans feel.
They could.
Our friend Kiro says he's in Texas. Good for you, Kiro. I don't know what that means. Hey,
I mean, she's gonna go
Kiro,
to
let me give you a little piece of information. When the tide is out in Alaska, we increase the state size of Texas. Cut Alaska in thirds, and you'd be the 4th largest state. Fuck Texas.
He's saying he's going to WrestleMania, is what he's saying.
Oh my God, Kiro, you're the best. Awesome. Have fun. And Texas is cool. I'm just fucking with you. I don't have a problem with Texas at all. I didn't know where you were going with that. I thought it was a jab about Texas being the biggest and the baddest, and it's the 2nd biggest. And it's people are what I love about people from Texas? They're so proud to be from there, and that's cool. And I like that, and you should be.
But yeah, I think that my hot take is that Cody's not ready to be a surprise at Mania. He's got to prove himself to the audience again. But I think that Gable Steveson has such heat behind him right now, and everyone's so excited that I think that he would have a big reaction. And I think that that's why you get Gable Steveson. Now, the question, though, was posed because do you think Shane McMahon's moved into that spot? Because now there's rumors, and we even said it before, the idea of Shane McMahon coming in and doing a thing isn't the craziest thing. So now people are saying, could it be Shane? I think it also could be a thing where Shane comes out and people think it's Shane McMahon? And it's not Shane. Yeah.
Shane McMahon? Okay. Yeah. So Kiro says, I'm going to SmackDown, NXT, and Mania both nights. Wow, Kiro. Hey, man, all I want you to do is have a blast. Yeah. Have fun. We got to do that one year, Ref Marsh. I want to be behind the broadcast booth on a SmackDown. We got to go. I want to be there with the fucking for the brand, like, repping, buddy.
Stuff. I agree. But, yeah, that's my take on that, is Seth and Gable Steveson, and Cody shows up on Monday. And I think that everyone's going to...
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we're going to see Cody at WrestleMania. We talked about this last episode. I don't give a shit about Cody at all. I mean, nothing against Cody. Like, I don't know him as a wrestler or whatever. He seems like a fucking hard worker, almost cut from the Vince McMahon cloth. So I'm because I know he does other things. There's other shows and stuff he's on. I'm instantaneously always turned off by the neck tattoo. I think it's the worst fucking thing you can do to yourself. So that I don't like, but I would. By the way, is that a bamboo comb from Hawaii as you're combing your beard there?
It's not bamboo, I don't think. Some kind of wood.
It's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. It's massaging.
I need to comb my beard a little bit today.
Good.
I'm with you. I hope it is Gable Steveson.
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 I think so. And that would make you really excited. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think it could even be cool where I think Shane comes out and introduces Gable. So people think it's going to be Shane, but then it's Gable.
Why would it be Shane though? I mean, like Shane. I thought Shane was so random at at the Rumble too. Like, and nothing against Shane. Fucking love Shane. How old is Shane now? You gotta be on or in relevancy to be important. Like, Ref Marsh, you and I talked about Gable Steveson last episode. Him winning in back-to-back national championships. I think he's a gold medalist. I mean, he's very accomplished wrestler now, collegiate wrestler. So I'm with you. Like, I hope that's who it is. I think that would be a great launch pad for this kid, whether he wins or loses. It's going to be really exciting, and I hope it's Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on the call for that, because I just think that would be the best. Because I want him on SmackDown. I think it would be great, and cool. Awesome too to see a young guy come out and be like, bam. And honestly, since Kurt Angle, we haven't seen a collegiate wrestler come in and really like. Well, in fairness, that's not fair to to our friend, the Alpha Academy. He's a collegiate wrestler, but he went to NXT first, didn't he not?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What do you think about Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville? They did.
I mean that's a celebrity match. Johnny Knoxville is going to win that match, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a fun match. It's going to be like an old Mick Foley match. I think they're going to do a lot of crazy shit. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to watch that. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Let me see. Drew, Corbin, Xavier Woods.
What about the Logan Paul?
We're going to get to that in just a minute.
Okay. That we haven't got. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I jumped the gun there. Here,
Austin Theory.
I gotta take
Okay.
I gotta do a thing.
Okay. Well, I do think that as we kind of wrap up SmackDown and move over to the Raw card stuff, we will talk about Austin Theory and Pat McAfee here in just a second. I do think it's really peculiar that they did announce that Ricochet is going to be defending his title this coming SmackDown before Mania, as well as Finn Balor was announced to be as the U.S. champion in the Battle Royal, also going to be on Friday, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think it's weird that you wouldn't put the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title on WrestleMania. It just doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. I actually thought that by getting the titles off of who they did, that you're going to get either Finn Balor and Damian Priest in some sort of cool match, or even Ricochet and a number of people in some form of a ladder match. But we're not getting either of those titles on Mania, and I think that's really weird.
Six Crow reminded me that Gable was drafted to Raw, but I don't know that matters. But yes, I got you. You said you were talking about the Ricochet being the Intercontinental champion
and Finn Balor being the U.S. title holder. And they both have matches on the SmackDown before Mania, but not at Mania. And I think it's a little weird.
Well, we're going to see those guys at Mania, are we not? I think they're still kind of announcing the Mania thing. Kiro says they don't have enough time to put the Intercontinental and USA title on Mania 2020 surprise.
He's being
I think they're totally going to have. They're going to have them. They'll have them. I mean,
they'll announce it for like the kickoff or something?
No, I mean, we got a Friday night SmackDown. I don't know. Shit, they got to. I mean, they got to have. Every title should be on the line at WrestleMania. There's no way it's not going to be. Those titles will be on the line. They're going to be on the line. It's just, you know what? Honestly, they're just letting the fans know. Kiro says, wonder what 4 hours of pre-show is going to have 2 hours both nights. Shit, I don't know if I'm going to watch all the pre-show, but like, we'll see. I wouldn't
be shocked if the IC and the US title ended up on the pre-show. That wouldn't shock me if you had Ricochet and
No. For WrestleMania, you're not going to have those titles on the line. Like for the actual, as I told our friend Stephanie,
something's got to happen on the kickoff though.
Premium live event, because she goes pay-per-view. I actually corrected her on Twitter. She laughed. I loved it. I was like, don't you mean premium live event? Shout out Stephanie, by the way. She's cool as shit. I gotta say this, man. Like, I don't. No, you have to have the titles. You've got to have those titles on WrestleMania. Like, those matches have to mean something. Yeah. Go back to what you were saying about the Pat McAfee stuff.
Yeah, so Austin Theory came out, talked some shit on McAfee, and then hid in Vince McMahon's room. I don't remember McAfee doing a lot. Did I just kind of miss it, or was it just kind of a lower level thing?
Yeah, so, was Raw, right? Are we into Raw?
No, that was SmackDown.
Oh, SmackDown. No, for SmackDown... no, I think did Pat come out and do his apology? Was not this last SmackDown?
On SmackDown, Austin Theory talked shit and went and hid in Vince McMahon's room. I didn't even quite remember it.
I thought they were doing some pretty good match building. Because, dude, I mean, again, it's tough for me because I have Pat every day in my life. So it's so hard for me to be like, and then he's been pushing that, like, the WWE lets him show the clips for intermissions on his show. So when he takes a break, I'm getting to watch all the stuff play out like a bunch of times. So for me, I feel like the McAfee stuff. Yeah. So Six Crow says he chased him into the back. That was it. Okay. Yeah. But I figured that was just, they don't want anybody to get injured. Pat's been ketoing like a motherfucker. He looks incredible.
Yeah. That's cool.
Miss Fabina says, sadly, Marsh didn't win the trip to WrestleMania as an interviewer. Oh, man.
Yeah, I entered.
I didn't know you were up for that.
But yeah, so Austin Theory, Pat McAfee, that's going to be awesome.
Yes. But Sam Roberts did talk about on Pat McAfee's show. Did you watch this interview?
Did not yet, no.
Okay, so he told Pat he thinks Vince came on his show to give him a false sense of security, and that Pat's going to end up putting Austin Theory over. Whether Pat wins the match or whatever, but your buddy Sam Roberts said that he thinks that Pat's not going to win. He thinks it's going to be Austin Theory. He thinks that Vince being the most diabolical person in I wish you had watched it. I should have sent you the I mean, again, Pat's interviews are long.
Yeah. I kept meaning to. I just kept forgetting about it.
I should have fucking clipped it for you and sent it to you because I should have known. You've talked about Sam a lot, that you work with him and you know him and stuff. I feel like a lot of your opinions, honestly, dude, when that dude was on the show, I was like, oh, holy fuck, this is Chris Marsh. This is Ref Marsh to the fucking T. And I'm not saying that I just like, it feels like you guys understand the business really well. And so he was letting Pat know. It was great, dude. It was great. And it wasn't kayfabe. It was just a good interview. Yeah. And AJ, who never chimes in with good questions, AJ Hawk. Shout out AJ Hawk. It was good, man. Like, when we get done with the show, if you get time to watch it before tomorrow or Smackdown, because things could change, give it a listen. I started to think, oh my God, Sam Roberts is right, and Pat's gonna lose this match like he lost to Adam Cole. It'll be an awesome match because Pat is a fucking athlete, like an athlete. I just watched the highlights of him as a punter throwing like passes and fucking just like, the guy is incredible. Like, and then, you know, like at lunchtime, he'll be shooting shots and swishing them. I mean, just some guys are just gifted, and Pat's got the gab and the athleticism, and I don't know, man. I fucking love the guy. I would not be back in wrestling if it wasn't for Pat. So, yeah, thus for the brand, like, you know. So, Kiro says maybe I should buy tickets for Marsh. Well, you better let him know now, Kiro, because you probably have to leave like by Thursday to get to Texas from Arizona. So
that's a good point. So Charlotte and Rhonda, at the very least, because I know that you and I have very similar opinions on what this match is probably going to look like and what our excitement level is, but
we want
Ronda Rousey promo. I actually like this way that Rhonda speaks. It's coming off really natural. She's not overly overt and screaming. Like, I get annoyed. I get annoyed at a lot of the wrestlers who just scream into the mic nonstop.
No, she did really good. I think no, 100% awesome. Yes, great job. And huge rooting for Rhonda. Like, hoping that Rhonda like hurts Charlotte and we don't have to see her for a long time. Like forever. I don't know what they're going there. I think WWE has to be a little bit concerned about her commitment, but I think Rhonda if she commits like The Rock, and by all accounts, behind the scenes, she's fucking awesome. And I love hearing that. And so, oh my God, dude, I'm going to get a Rhonda t-shirt. If she wins this and she does well, I'm going to push for her. I want to see her do well. As someone who struggles with mental health, and I know her family has had that, I'm rooting for her as the human, but I also am rooting for her as the sports entertainer. Just so I don't ever have to watch that fucking hack Charlotte Flair wrestle again. I don't know. I mean, am I being a bad person by saying this? I almost feel like I'm being so over the top, but it's awful. She can't give bumps, Ref Marsh. Like in the match, like Rhonda hits her and she's like, I am the Terminator. No, You're not the fucking Terminator. Why don't you watch a Mr. Perfect video and learn how to give some goddamn bumps, you fucking hack. It's horrible. Oh my God, dude. I can't deal
I could
with
use
it.
a break from her for sure. I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just awful, dude. There's nothing nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to the next topic? Go, Rhonda.
I just wanted to get your opinion on Rhonda's promo because
it was great, dude. I loved it. I agree with you. It felt really authentic and good. And I think Steph was watching it with me. Steph, for the viewers, is my wife of 16 years, incredible woman, like the greatest person in the world. And the reason Ref Marsh and I are on this show together, I'm really proud of her. And I love seeing what she's bringing to the table. And it was, I feel like the WWE universe, as Michael Cole would say, knows what's authentic and it's coming across authentic. Is it the best? No, but it's good. And she's going to get better. Yeah. She's really junior in this when it really comes down to it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree.
Cool.
Let's see. I'm pulling up some of the Raw stuff as we get.
Grim Reaper says Charlotte in the top 5 women's wrestlers of all time, and I don't have a problem with that, Grim Reaper. I'm just saying, like, somewhere along the line, her fucking ego has gotten in the way, and she has just decided that she's like the Blob from the Marvel comics. No one can stop the Blob. I'm an immovable force. I'm not saying she doesn't have the potential to be like one of the greatest of all time, but she can't fucking hold Becky Lynch's jock strap, and she's been in the game longer. It's not, it's really kind of sad, honestly.
Yeah,
it almost feels like she has.
I completely understand where people say that, but I would be honest. If I was making a top 10 list, I don't know that she'd even make my top 10 of most enjoyable talent to watch.
Is she better than Chyna? No. Is she better than Lita? No. Is she better than the Bella Twins? I don't know. I didn't watch the Bella Twins. Is she better than Natalie? No. Is she better than Becky Lynch? No. Is she better than Bayley? Is she better than Sasha Banks? No. Is she better than Bianca Belair? No. I mean, I would rather watch Doudrop. I wanted to ask you a little bit real quick, since we're talking about women's wrestling. Nothing from Doudrop here into WrestleMania. I'm a little surprised. Are we going to get are they going to give her a break and bring her back as Piper Niven? Are we going to?
It wouldn't shock me. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot more of her after Mania. But you're right, leaving her out of Mania right now is a little weird because she did so well. But at the same time, like, there's kind of a lot they're cramming in there. There's a match that we're about to talk about. A lot of people were having issues with because they think that it's lazy or something, but they talk about the Women's Tag Team Championship. Zelina and Carmella against Naomi and Sasha versus Rhea and Liv versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler. People are complaining about this.
Why are people complaining about it? You hate good things? They hate good things.
For one, they hate good things. For two, they want they think that it's shitty that all the women's matches are about titles, and they want the narratives. They want one-on-one matches with women that do not involve titles on the show, because we have other grudge matches and celebrity matches that involve men without titles, that the women should have the same. And I agree at the concept, but I also understand that, for one, this one match, 2, 4, 6, 8 women in one match, is not a horrible way to go about that. And I think that
Dude,
people
name
also...
a wrestler from that match that you don't want to see wrestle. Like, every one of them are fucking awesome. What the fuck is wrong with you people that don't like good things?
Yeah, and I get the idea of saying that they want more like grudge match stuff, and we got close to that with Naomi and Sonya at a potential payoff there. But I think at the same time, like, people, they neglect the fact that there is, for better or for worse, a very small number of women on their current roster right now. They need to grow it for sure, and they need to call up some people from NXT for sure. But it's not as deep a roster as their men's division. And when you're trying to get all the talent out there, and you are trying to do the shows, and you're trying to have the tag division, they want the tag team championship to mean something. And people were complaining before, saying to have the tag team belts just demolished and move on. Well, here's a match that has 8 women in it, and it's going to be an incredible match. And it's about something. They would have otherwise had the same match, but without a title. You know what I mean?
So I feel like maybe I'm a mark for saying this, but other than the Pat McAfee match, which I'm a Pat McAfee fan, this is a match I'm most excited about. I'm so excited about this match because I think it's going to be so spectacular in the ring. And I'll tell you what, the women do get a lot less time than the men, but they always take advantage of it. I never hardly ever see bad moves, or it's always just so good. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that being said, outside of who we talked about earlier, because I don't want to give her any more pub than she deserves, this is going to be an awesome match. Now, does it take away that it's a fatal 4-way with 2 tags? Yeah, a little bit, but I still think it's going to be, because of WrestleMania, we don't have the time constraints. So we're going to get to see these women at their fucking best. And it's, again, guys, like me coming back in since last year, SummerSlam, I have just been, the women's storylines, the women's promos, and their matches, in my opinion, have been not only on par, but a lot of times better than the men's.
Yeah.
And I fucking love them. Like, those are the story. That's the stuff that I'm into. Six Crow said this match would have been better as a women's battle royal. Sure,
no.
That's fair.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He said this match would have been the women's battle royal, not better than. So what he's talking about is so there was the Andre the Giant battle royal, and then there was for a short period of time a women's battle royal, which I believe was a Mae Young battle royal.
Yeah, Mae Young Classic. Yeah,
and that's a good point too, because people were complaining about getting rid of those because those matches didn't mean anything. I think this is improvement. Is my point. We could have a 30 women battle royal and have everyone out there for a meaningless match, and they all get their time on the thing, and someone wins a trophy.
Yeah.
Or we can get 8 women in a match for a championship. It's an improvement. It's not perfect yet, and obviously they're slow to make big changes, but I think that this is a good thing for the tag team championships. I think it's a good thing for every woman involved. I think that everyone in there right now, tell me Zelina and Carmella are not having the fucking time of their life being a team together.
Okay, awesome team.
Tell me that Naomi and Sasha Banks aren't having some of the most fun they've had in a long time.
Awesome team. Sasha Banks. Like, you feel like they're almost under you. No, but I'm not. I'm not going there. This is awesome.
Yeah. And how much fun do they look like they're having? You know what I mean? Like,
dude, Natalie and Shayna Baszler, what a fucking cool team that is.
Yeah, Natalya and Shayna are looking like badasses. They look like they're having a ton of fun together. Rhea and Liv Morgan, they might be getting married. They're having so much fun together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, no, it's awesome. They're very, it's cool, man. I'm in on it. I want to see this. I'm super excited about this match, man. Like, I am. Yes. I mean, I really want to see the Bianca Belair Becky Lynch match. Like, I am way excited for that match.
Yeah.
But this match is, again, the women's stuff is the stuff that's like, I'm like, yeah, give me more. 100%. And they know it. They know it. We're seeing all these girl wrestling fans in the stands and stuff. The pissed off fan. Remember the pissed off fan?
Yeah.
Who was the, we like all those memes and stuff. Like, it's the women's stuff is taking over. It's good. I mean, a few years back, it was the main event. So, like, I don't feel like You know, like I'm more interested in that stuff a lot of the time than I am a lot of the women's stuff. Like, yeah, the Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre stuff's gonna be cool. I would, or the Happy Corbin, sorry.
Yeah, I would say
you said I could watch that or this match. I'm gonna watch this match.
Yeah, and I think that for me, I feel like I'd rather the tag team championships mean more than they've meant, and this does this. You know what I mean?
We talk about a lot of times too, Ref Marsh. We said, why don't SmackDown have their own, but they don't have the time frame, so we just have the one women's tag team. I would be okay with two, but yes, they're putting a lot of meaning behind the women's tag team champion. I agree.
And look at this, at the end of the day, we had 2 of these teams on SmackDown, and we had all these teams on Raw. You know what I mean? Like, if you had one championship, one tag team championship for each division for the women, you would be seeing half of these women half of the time. You got to see all these women twice the amount this week. Like, all I'm saying is that we're making small steps to make those tag team championships mean more. And I think one thing that WWE does, and maybe to a fault and maybe too often, is they have been doing this for 50 years and they perceive doing it for another infinite amount of years. So where we as fans say we want it now, I want a grudge match now, I want the women's championship to mean more, why don't we have a deeper division, I want a 50-50 booking with women and the men. We see that as that's an immediate change you can do now. They see it as we can get there because we have time and we'll work on it over the next number of years. You know what I mean? So I do think that it's baby steps, but it's not nothing. And I do think that we are seeing an improvement. I do think this is awesome for the tag championship. It's just a matter of what happens after the fact, you know? And all these teams look like they're having so much fun.
Who doesn't want to watch this match? I don't think you're a fan of wrestling if you don't want to watch this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this match is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Let's see. And on Raw, what did they have on there with this match that was cool? Oh, it was that 4-on-4, which was fucking great.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean,
there's
one thing I want to talk about from Raw.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, the Becky Lynch Bianca Belair hair thing was fucking awesome.
That was crazy, dude. Did you see the pictures that Becky posted today?
No, I did not, but I don't care. My wife goes, it's a weave. So if you know that, I said, I don't know if it's a weave with Becky because her hair seems pretty real. Like, she goes, at first, I think she thought I was talking about Bianca. And I was like, I know her ponytail is not real. I get that. Like, that I know is not real. But Becky Lynch's hair is mostly real. So, and I thought Bianca in the heat of the moment, by the way, the fucking fans chanting, you deserve it. Again, how fucking good is Becky Lynch to do this? Yeah. And I mean, Bianca has to win. I want Bianca to win, but Becky Lynch deserves so much fucking credit. And I don't know that I would be, I don't know that I would be awake to Becky Lynch's brilliance if it wasn't for Bishop in some regard. I think you would have cued me in on it too. But how fucking good is she at selling? Again, we talked about another individual on another show that should take some fucking notes from this girl. She is the GOAT. She is so good. Becky Lynch is so good. I told my wife, I said, I want Becky to lose, but I want him to bring her back as a baby face just so I can see her as a baby face in real time because I didn't get to see it. Because she is so this is so good. Again, I said I was really excited about the Fatal 4-Way. There's not a match I give a shit about outside. If you said you could watch one match on WrestleMania, Jeremiah, you can watch the Sports Beard. You can watch one match. It's Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. That is the match I want to see. I love this. The story building has been so good. The in-ring has been incredible. It is awesome.
Yeah, it's been
super
so
good.
And
hold on, somebody's knocking on my door. I gotta make sure it's not like.
Yeah, the Becky and Bianca segment was awesome.
I got somebody.
And I ended up posting a little GIF of a goat. Like I found a redheaded goat that was getting sheared and screaming, and I posted that GIF and put #Raw. So yeah, I'm really excited for that match too. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I think even in regards to if it was a weave, I don't think it was 100% weave. I think you got to have a mix of hair to make that happen. But yeah, it was incredible. The crowds chanting "You deserve it" to me was so cool. Just given the amount of people who've been saying since Becky Lynch came back at SummerSlam that the crowd was never going to boo her, doesn't want to boo her, that the heel turn's not working, that they're begging so much. And then at this point, you hear them literally chant, "You deserve it" for having her hair cut up and get attacked in the ring. So, yeah, Becky Lynch on all cylinders. It's awesome. And I think the idea of her losing at Mania is really exciting to think what she's going to be capable of doing on the other side of that as a character that's been so over and popular and has run herself through her own delusion, that the concept of whatever happens to Becky afterwards is going to be exciting to watch. You know?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Brock Lesnar opening up the show the way he did was so cool. And then I thought it was really fun. So here's something that I thought was interesting that
Is this truck door or?
No, this is the jovial Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Yes, with the what? With the what? Yes. Oh my God. I'm with you, Marsh.
So what I was about to say was something I've never seen. Because we've seen people have to interact with the what chance and figure out how to make it work. And this show leaned into the what chance more than any other single show. Because it wasn't just Brock. So Brock goes, "That's all right. Yeah, sing along. Oh, yeah, come on, be a part of it." And then Brock started feeding into it the way he fed into it at Pat McAfee's show. Remember, like, I mean,
100%, 100%. Because
he was setting them up.
Yes, no, because
the way that he set up Pat and his buddies, I hunt pheasants, what?
Yeah.
Rascals, what? Like, he was doing the whole fucking thing. He was doing that same setup and wait for the crowd. And then he was smiling, laughing. Go ahead, play along, let's do it. Then later you get Roman come out. And it infuriates Roman. Don't you what at me kind of a deal. And I thought, holy shit, the way, I forget the line he used. Let me see if I can pull it up. The line he used about the what chance, and he said, I would also, and then he also says, and I would kick Stone Cold's ass if he was here. Dude, it was insane. And then, to top it all off, Kevin Owens then
Brock
also
Lesnar
comes out. Huh?
Brock Lesnar said he would kick Stone Cold's ass?
No, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns did. When he came out and cut his promo. And then after that, Kevin Owens comes out and he starts egging on the crowd to scream what? It was fucking crazy, dude. Do you not remember Roman on Raw?
I'll just say this. They all wish they could touch the hem of the garment of Stone Cold Steve Austin. As much as Roman is being pushed, he hopes he has the success that Stone Cold has. And cancer aside and all that stuff, I'm starting to appreciate his greatness. He's no fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. So if you got to bring the guy's name up, you're not more important than him.
He didn't bring them up. The crowd did. And the idea is not that is he as good or better than or not. It's the characters getting so mad at the fans that he's talking shit on their guy they're chanting about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which
Sure.
is awesome. And I thought it was brilliant because it also was a complete dichotomy to what Brock Lesnar did. Brock Lesnar was doing the opposite. Oh, yeah. Oh, and Stone Cold's even going to be there at Dallas.
Well, that's why I say dude, would you be disappointed if Brock won? Like,
I wouldn't be disappointed on either one. No.
Yeah, I mean, like, Brock is a believable victor over Roman. I know Roman has beaten Brock before, and that's happened. I didn't know this until Evil. The fans weren't happy that Roman beat Brock then. What do you think they're going to do now if they fuck? I'm not saying that they're still forcing Roman on us. I'm not saying that. I think the Paul Heyman thing, and I get it, but you can only be the heel for so long, right? Like, I wonder if we've gotten to the limit of Roman being like, like already isn't he the longest tenured Universal title, which to me means fucking nothing because like the Universal title is not that old or whatever. But I just wonder, and I get it, but if you have to invoke the greats to sell your own greatness, I always wonder. I'm not
But
trying
they didn't
to
do that. I'm wondering if you're hearing what I'm saying.
No, I know the fans brought it up because of but Ref Marsh, like the wrestlers know if you speak in a certain like
If you have a cadence, if you had the right
cadence,
cadence,
yes. If you speak in a certain cadence, you can get that what chant back, right? So they know what will generate that what chant. This is not new, right? So I don't know. I'm leery of being critical of Roman in that. I just like I don't know.
So I think what the Stone Cold thing was. Let me try and rephrase this. The way that Brock Lesnar heard the what chant and started laughing and be jovial and started playing with the crowd and then said, and Stone Cold's going to be there. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Then the juxtaposition of Roman getting a what chant and then getting furious at the crowd and saying he's not here and I'd kick his ass anyways is just showing the different levels of these two dudes, and it makes you want Brock to win, right? Because now, hey, Brock was playing with us before, and now Roman's being a dick to us now. Fuck this guy.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that. Now, what do you get from the payout, though? Is WrestleMania giving it to the fans what they want to see, or not?
Well, that's what I mean. Is I agree with you from before, where I think that WWE, for better or worse, is always got the long game in mind. Yeah. And they could be going against what the fans may want now because of what the fans are going to want later. Right. You know what I mean?
But not
so but who knows?
Yeah, and not to be critical of that, but I know Stone Cold's a big part of this WrestleMania because it's in Texas and he's being a part of it, and Kevin Owens has brilliantly brought him into that thing. But I don't know what that has to do with Roman and Brock. I do understand the psychology of like Brock being awesomely playful and Roman being kind of like a douchebag and shit. I just don't know if that correlates to like, I don't know. I don't know where they're going with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. But I don't know.
It has nothing to do with Stone Cold other than everyone knows Stone Cold can't be there to cut his own promos. This has been a one-sided storytelling device on Kevin Owens' part.
You think he's there Friday?
I think it'd be crazy if he wasn't, but maybe he won't.
We should do a live watch through for Smackdown.
And watch Smackdown just be like a recap episode, and we're just like, what are we doing?
Well, we can't do a live watch through. We can't do a live watch through because it doesn't come on till 7 p.m. my time.
That's true.
So we cannot do a live.
Yeah,
because I don't know how to stream it otherwise, unless I did it illegally. Because you're an hour ahead.
What I'm saying is the idea of Brock and Roman bringing up Stone Cold is, for one, just to create more animosity between that the fans have to pick a side, and for two, to also make sure that the fans all realize Stone Cold's going to be there because Stone Cold's not able to promote this himself on these shows.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that's very cool. I got you. I almost feel like, though, that's sort of a cheap way to say that Stone Cold, because Stone Cold can cut promos. He has a studio at his house, and so he could do promos. I think that his silence probably makes the payoff better with him. But yeah,
whatever the reason is, he's not doing it.
No, I know. He's probably
whether
he's
he
probably
doesn't
getting
have
a shitload of money too, right?
Right. Oh yeah,
he's getting a shitload of money too.
And the idea that Kevin Owens is carrying this entire rivalry one-sided.
He is. You are incredible. Right. No, he's doing so good. That's part of me where, like, I'm such a huge Stone Cold fan. I told you last week. I was a little bummed out, but also I was like, kind of brilliant from fucking Kevin Owens to do the breaking glass thing and then trick the crowd like 2 other times. So look, dude, I'll be the first to say fuck Canadians. But Kevin Owens is awesome. And I love Edge too. His work is awesome. what he's doing with the fucking age. That's a match too. We didn't even talk about that match. I'm super like the storyline. I was like, but like Edge is doing such a good job. Like he turned heel so fast. It's almost not fair.
Yeah. That's
how good it is. And then that match is going to be fucking incredible. It's going to be incredible. I'm so fucking excited for that match. Six Crow says, didn't Cena carry his story versus Undertaker? Six Crow, if you don't know about me, I've been gone for a long time, so I didn't even see Cena.
Yeah.
But I love fucking Cena because he's so good in the Peacemaker, and I love him. And honestly, like I know Roman beat Cena, but that story was kind of thin with him from what I saw because Cena. I'm
gonna count you out here in a second.
Count me out.
So Six Crow is asking, didn't Cena carry his storyline versus the Undertaker? I think it's more directed to me because he knows that I saw it. The answer is Cena carried an entire storyline with the Undertaker up to Mania once too, and that's exactly the point. That Kevin Owens is the next person to do that and do it well. Kevin Owens is on that level.
No fair, Six Crow. I think I'm sorry. I didn't see it, but I think Kevin Owens is fucking incredible. He's awesome.
When it comes to promos,
when he came out with the bald cap, when he came out with the bald cap and the beard, I was like, I could be Stone Cold. I could be Stone Cold.
Wait a second.
It was so good. He is so good. And you know what? Ref Marsh, I don't know if you saw, it runs at the same time as Pat McAfee's show, so you may not have, but it is on the cock, as Pat McAfee would say, Peacock. The Rich Eisen show. Rich had the legend Stone Cold Steve Austin on his show, and I don't know if we talked about this last episode, but Steve talks about Kevin Owens and running his mouth, and there's a little bit of story there. So Six Crow says he's great. I don't know if you're talking about Kevin Owens or I'm such a big fan of Kevin Owens. He first of all is I'm glad the stunner didn't go away. I mean, outside the RKO, it's such a great finishing move. Yeah. I'm glad it's still around, in some capacity to pay homage. I'm wearing a broken skull hat, so I have this belt. And Ref Marsh knows this. I have this belt. So I'm a huge Stone Cold fan. Let's play this out in all its glory. Mm-hmm. And then the backside for the fans here. But
they're doing an awesome job pushing this along. And the idea that I think some people were complaining that the idea might be that it actually closes the show, Stone Cold and Kevin Owens. I don't see that as a problem. I understand people have an issue that the women aren't going to close the show, but it's also you have Stone Cold in Dallas. You're what do you think's gonna?
Well, I would not have a problem with Bianca and Becky Lynch closing the show, but Stone Cold and Kevin Owens closing the. Well, you don't think we're gonna get Roman and Brock as the final match? So it's got to be Roman and Brock. Kevin Owens went full G.I. Jane too, said Jedi Dick Sensei. I don't know who you are, Jedi Dick Sensei, but that's a good one.
That's true. The bald cap. But night 2 is going to end with Brock and Roman for sure, but night 1's ending with Stone Cold. And I understand it could be cool with Bianca because Bianca's from Texas too, I believe. So I think that she'd still get a. Is she Tennessee? Am I got that backwards?
She went to University of Tennessee.
Okay, so maybe she's Tennessee. But yeah, I think it's just, you're not going to get a bigger reaction at the end of the night than Stone Cold standing tall in Dallas with 100,000 people in the audience. So I think that it makes sense, but I get it. People want their faves to have everything every time, and, is what it is.
Yeah, but, I don't know.
As a quick circle back, because I know that you didn't get to see it all as it kind of played out. In Roman's promo, he was really breaking down a lot of the history that they had. Old matches where Brock opened up, got him bloody, got Roman bloody and stuff. I thought that Roman's promo did an awesome job of explaining how personal the Roman character takes all the Brock Lesnar stuff, and it actually, to me, I thought made the whole thing seem that much more exciting, and even more like long-term details. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I liked him pointing it out and not shying away from some of it.
Bianca is, by the way, from Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where she's from originally. And she went to University of Tennessee. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to see this match?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hugely rooting for Brock. And guys, again, for the podcast, I fucking hated Brock as an MMA fighter. I fucking chanted my ass off when Alistair Overeem liver kicked his ass into what I thought was going to be his retirement. Because I didn't think he was an MMA fighter. I thought he was a steroided out fucking WWE guy. But you know what? He's a great human being.
Yeah.
Not good, but great. And I have learned to love this guy. And from my perspective, I really want, I get Roman's overcome cancer, you know, I get that. I feel like Brock was kind of the uber heel forever. And again, I missed most of Brock's career.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen and research and back watching and videos, you know, uber heel. He's never come across good. He had Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Roman, to get good, had to get Paul Heyman. And again, like, I understand Roman's family and like Joe, the guy he is as a person, like, I like him and I'm not rooting against him as a person. And I want him to succeed and be awesome and be that guy that I know he can be. But I want Brock to win this match.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to, but I hope he does. Because the Brock that we see with the ponytail and this is, you know, the fucking Canadian tuxedo, essentially, I'm just enjoying. And what I think I've seen from Brock is that his enjoyment is so much fun that I just don't know. Like, it feels like,
You just don't want to stop.
I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
I don't want it to end. It's like a movie that you're fucking so into the story. You're like, it's so good. You know what? That's why long form TV and stuff and is becoming the norm. People are loving that because, you know, all these books they adapt to movies. Everybody's like, it sucked. It's never like, of course it sucked. It was a 1,500-page book. You can't, you know, put that in a 2-hour movie effectively. We all want the long game. So if Brock wins, I don't think it wrecks anything with Roman. Roman will get his title back. It would be great. And then we could carry on the Brock. Now, I don't know. Does Brock stay on? Because we have Bobby Lashley. We have, Ref Marsh mentioned my favorite wrestler of all time. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Greatest ever do it.
Yeah. He mentioned Drew McIntyre and stuff like that. I don't know. I'll tell you though, we're starting to see tiers. Like, and there's always been this in wrestling where you've got the lower level guys, but sometimes those lower level stories are incredible and then they end up building into something big. I just don't know where this and that's what makes it so fun and exciting. Like, so I can't wait to tune into WrestleMania.
Before this promo by Roman, I would have said that I think that the Roman character has to hold on to that title because he's got to make those numbers big. Yeah. But after that promo, and he pointed out that he already beat Brock Lesnar's record, that was the point. The point was to say that he had all these little one-ups over Brock. So now I do agree that I think that he could lose it and it wouldn't hurt that character's story at all because he did the thing he needed to do. As a character, he had to beat Brock Lesnar's record. You know what I mean? But as a character, if he were to lose it now, he could get it back.
Ref Marsh, what about this? Because I'm telling you, as a fan of the babyface, I'm a sucker for it. I'm a mark. Yes, I know. Thank you, fans. What if Brock wins as the babyface and Roman comes back as a babyface? oh my God, that to me is going to be so incredible. And he could do it. He could do it. He has the ability to do it. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But you don't think that will happen?
I don't know. I think that it's.
But
it's
even
more
if he did,
possible
well,
now
I
than
don't
before.
think. Do you think Roman comes back without Paul Heyman? I think that would maybe no. So he wouldn't come back as a babyface. But regardless, he could win that. He could lose the title at WrestleMania and win it on Raw anyway, right?
Right. But what I'm saying is, I think all that stuff is possible because of the fact that he pointed out in this promo that all of those things were to get one over on Brock. That all of it's been this big, petty, personal thing against Brock this whole time. And since he's beaten Brock on all those levels,
right
now you could see the destruction of that character in such a sense where you could take those little pieces away and the character still will be strong and be able to get back what he once had. Where
Well,
before
why
that
not?
promo, it would have been an issue for his character to get to here.
Well, Ref Marsh, the only thing I have this question for you because I don't know. Why not like make that a thing as part of the story though? Instead of like someone like you grasp that because you just understand the history and it's so enthralled in you and you're like, oh yeah, but fucking he already beat Brock's thing and that makes it good. But you get that, but like how many percent? Like you're giving the audience way too much credit, in my opinion. Oh,
Roman said it, not me.
Okay.
He said it in his promo. You know, I've beaten his record here.
Okay.
I took his advocate and turned him into a wise man. You know, I did X, Y, and Z. He pointed out all these little things he did to be above and to be better. And then on paper, to be the one who's above Brock Lesnar on every given metric, right?
Right.
So you could now, where before I would say he needs to have that as a character. Well, he's got it now. So now he can lose it and still be a strong character. So
Yeah.
I'm
Even
a
if
lot
he
more open to
lost
the
it,
idea
though.
of him losing.
Even if he lost it though, let's say he lost it at day one, which I think was probably the original idea. Because wouldn't he have broken his record by then? You know, he's been the champion for like fucking 3 years or 2 years or something. I don't know what the numbers would match up, but Six Girl says, I think Roman's last hurdle is to beat Brock at WrestleMania. Okay.
Could be.
Yeah, I have thought the whole time that Roman was going to beat Brock.
Well, because I think being the first unified title holder could be big for Roman's character.
Right.
Where it wouldn't mean all that much to Brock's character long term.
Yeah. I think Roman's going to win. I want it to be just an awesome match.
Yeah.
I think you get F5. He'll get Suplex City'd a bunch. But what's Roman's finishing move, by the way, though? That's one of the things I think,
Spear.
like,
And the
is that
guillotine
it?
he
I
added.
mean, that's really Goldberg's, though. Like, I mean, like,
Yeah, but he's better at it than Goldberg. He does the Superman punch. He does the spear.
yeah,
he
but
does
Goldberg
the guillotine.
invented it. I'm not, you can shit on Goldberg all you want, but like Goldberg did win like 187 matches in a row and shit or whatever it was. I don't know. I got you. I think Roman's gonna win. I think
It was also Edge's. Edge's finish was a spear.
Yeah,
as well.
Edge had the spear too. Yeah, Edge is
It's
incredible.
an established mean move.
Yeah.
So the only other thing that we didn't talk about, and it's pretty brief, just concept wise, almost it looks like it's going to go up against Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley made his big return. I actually like the idea of this.
I was excited because you know what, Ref Marsh, I was thinking about this as I was watching Raw or SmackDown. I was like, man, what's going on with Bobby Lashley? Boy, it would sure be nice to see him back. But I thought he had a legit injury, and it seemed like he did. I don't know.
So. My hunch would be that he had a legit injury, and the timetable of return was just too close to call, and so they didn't want to push anything one way or the other until they knew. And then,
no, I mean, that's why I was really surprised to hear you talk about Drew McIntyre being up against Roman, because I think Bobby's that guy. I think the big thing, the big problem I have with Bob is his promos suck still. He's not great at promos, but he's awesome in ring, and I fucking love the guy. He's such a good, by the way, if you didn't know, Wrestling on the Rocks fans, I spent 25 years in the military, and that was in the Army. Bobby Lashley was in the Army. I'm a fan of Bobby Lashley. I want to see him do well. He is a fellow fucking Black Knight. I want to see this guy do well. I just don't know if he can carry a promotion. And so that scares me a bit, but physically he looks the part, and in ring, he's not bad at all. So he's great in ring. And he was, you know, so.
And he's good on PR. Like his interviews outside of the company are awesome.
Yeah.
It's when you tell him that that's what he has to say and get across, it seems to be a little weird.
No, when they were pushing Roman, when I watched the Evil thing, it showed him like Roman being a nice guy to these kids and stuff. And it, again, I don't know why people didn't think it seemed believable. Roman seems like he's actually a great guy.
Yeah.
But Bobby is a good guy. Like,
yes.
you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I think it's awesome. I think they're doing a great job with Omos. I think Bobby Lashley's a beast. And this is one, too, where I think it's too close to call, to be honest.
Is it Omos or Omos?
Or Omos?
Omos. You say almost. Almost.
I thought
it's
it was
Omos, right? I thought it was
probably.
Omos. Whatever.
It's Omos.
It doesn't matter. It's cool. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm a fan of him, too. I heard Undertaker say some really cool things about him. Oh, by the way, are we going to see Undertaker at WrestleMania? Because it's.
I think it's going to be the Queen of England wave. I think is all you're going to get, because they do the Hall of Fame. It's going to be on right after SmackDown.
Yeah,
and
Friday. Yeah.
At WrestleMania, they do a thing on one of the nights where they go on your Hall of Fame class for 2022, and they all come out and stand on the thing and wave.
Yeah. Steiner Brothers. We didn't talk about that. They got in since last
they're
time.
Getting in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's gonna be really cool.
That's very cool.
I hope we see something there. I hope they talk about Braun Breaker or something. It's just in a quick little nod. Like I hope that them being in the Hall of Fame helps Braun ultimately.
Braun
Breaker.
Okay.
That's Rick's kid and Scott's nephew from the Steiner brothers. So I think that them going in the Hall of Fame could be really good for Braun Breaker's career, to be honest.
How old is he? Is he still up and coming? Is he in the Indies?
He's in NXT.
Oh, cool.
He was the NXT champion,
Yeah. Again, fans.
He's got a match this weekend against Dolph Ziggler, which is going to be good. But
oh, yeah. Okay. Braun, hey, guys. NXT, tune in tomorrow to Wrestling on the Rocks with Miss Amanda Jane and Crybaby Clump with Ref Marsh, because the Sports Beard doesn't have time to watch NXT.
Exactly.
But I don't hate NXT. I know that there's going to be some cool shit coming out of NXT. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to break down WrestleMania with you today, because tomorrow we're going to be talking almost nothing WrestleMania at all. And then we're going to have Smackdown right before we end up doing our watch along where we'll talk about it. So we'll be in there.
Dude, no rush.
But
we can keep talking. I'm really excited. I was excited for the Super Bowl this year because it was the Rams and the Bengals, two teams that hadn't been in a while. And the last time I saw the Rams in the Super Bowl, they lost to the Patriots. And the last time I saw the Bengals in the Super Bowl, they lost to 49ers. It was one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. And I'll never forget Tim Crumry got his ankle broken. And they caught it on TV. And this is way before high def, by the way. And it was like flopping in the breeze. And he was a really good defensive tackle for the Bengals. But I've been so excited about this because I'm not partially in. I'm all in when it comes to Wrestling on the Rocks and being a wrestling fan and a WWE fan. I'm so excited for this WrestleMania. It's going to be so much fun to watch with Ref Marsh and all the fans that come in and watch with us. I'm blown away by how great this community is, and I'm really excited. I learn something new every day. I always want the good storyline, but I love the good matches in the squared circle too. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. Like I said, the Bianca thing with the fucking hair cutting was so awesome. And then the fans, like, you deserve it. I mean, like, if I'm Becky Lynch, I am just like, look at how good I am. Because that was all her. That's her. She got all that out of the crowd. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's one thing to get booed. It's another thing to get a "you deserve it" because you got your ass kicked. Like,
dude, I mean, I'd be honest with you, Ref Marsh, that might be one of the most incredible moments I've witnessed on TV since I have been back to wrestling. I was so blown away by that. It was so good. I think we might be shortchanging that in some regard.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I'm way stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited to have it.
Yeah.
We're going to be happy to have everybody come out. And if nobody even comes into the chat, I might just post the Zoom link publicly on Twitter and just say, click it if you want it.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to have some people come in. Yeah.
Just have some people come through. Other than that, though, tomorrow night, we're going to be back for a brand new episode 1. Me, Miss Amanda Jane. I believe Crybaby Clump's making his triumphant return since his health issues. And
how's he doing, man? Everything going good with
so
Crybaby
much better.
Clump? What's going on? What happened? I don't know. Tell the fans.
He ended up with a pretty bad infection and was in the hospital for a better part of a week, to be honest. And so
I don't know him, but give him my best. I give him my best. That's so awful.
Yeah, it was a pretty scary couple of moments there. He went in because he thought it was his appendix. He was just feeling that kind of sharp pain. And as I started doing tests and scans and stuff, it goes, no, it's this horrible infection, and it's actually much worse than an appendix thing. And they checked him in right away.
Wow, because appendicitis can kill you. So what's worse than that? Like, can you die twice? Like,
right? Yeah, true. Well, I think with appendicitis, they can if they catch it, they can get in there. You're fine. With this one, it's gonna take a lot more treatment than just get in there and to get it out. You know. But he's doing much better. He should be back tomorrow, unless something comes up, which we'll be up to date about it as it happens. Other than that, I'm looking forward to this weekend. You and me having a few drinks, celebrating the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time.
Yeah, WrestleMania 38, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Awesome.
Yeah. We will be back tomorrow night right here in the dive bar of the IWC for a brand new episode 1. Guys, that's the last call.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining Wrestling on the Rocks.
Hey, producer Lee here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink. Subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.